To go again. Hey, good morning. Welcome to another great LTS show. I am your host, as always, Bodkins. Man, top of the morning, Sunday morning. Here we go. We're gonna wrap up this week, talk a little bit of sports, some signings here and there, some non-signings, possible trades, NBA, NFL, God knows what. Let's bring in the guys. Let's get this party rolling. Let's start off the morning. I drank a little bit too much with the guys on Just Fans last night, Carlos and Rio. So if you missed that show, please check it out. I love those guys to death. We spent a whole hour and we didn't really even talk much sports. So it was just a lot of me and Rio pounding. I was drinking whiskey and he was pounding beers. So a lot of fun. But another guy who's a little bit more hungover was live at the Reds Brewers game. Checking it in. He's not even a fan of either team, but our guy, Sam, Mr. First Down.
We're going to have a nice, quiet show today. Even in the comments, no exclamation points in the comments, okay? Oh God. Hello, Nick.
Sam, how was the game?
What did I say, Arrowhead News Sport, Rumor Sports? You can't put an exclamation point. Stop it. Anyway. It was good. It was good. Baseball's always fun live or whatnot. I was sad for the Reds fans. It was a packed stadium and they just stayed flat the whole game and couldn't get anything going. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun to do. Always fun to watch the
baseball. How was Ella De La Cruz on the mound?
Well, I can tell you that the ump started getting blind by the end of the game. They were putting eye drops in the ump's eyes about the fifth inning, but there were some questionable strikeout calls.
I was asking how Ella De La Cruz was pitching last night, since you thought he was a pitcher.
Pitching. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. No, that was my bad.
You're so drunk you're still drunk, Sam.
No. Unfortunately, I need to get drunk again soon. These long-winded questions you have, they're just
long-winded question. I just asked how Ella De La Cruz was pitching because you thought he was a pitcher going to the game. You tweeted it, and I said, "Hey, bud,
I know
De La Cruz doesn't pitch." I didn't want you going to the game looking for De La Cruz on the mound, and you're like, "Oh, De La Cruz is pitching good," and some guys like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I was trying to be a friend, Sam, and save you.
No, I know you did a good job. I had to edit it on Facebook too, but somebody already was like, "Sam, what are you doing?" I was like, "Huh?" I really thought he was a pitcher for whatever reason. But anyway, yeah. They love that guy there. That place erupts.
Oh yeah. Well, when you haven't had nobody to cheer for since Ken Griffey Jr., you're gonna love the first guy that's really good. I mean, they do have Joey Votto, so I can't really say a whole lot. But De La Cruz has got a little bit more flair than Votto. Speaking of drunk, let's go ahead and bring in our super producer, Tanner D.
What's up? What's up, Arrowhead News and Rumor? Go Chiefs. Hey, Sam. Sam.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Let's get it going, baby.
Tanner, you should have told your brother, hey, if you see an ugly ginger guy in the crowd, just throw a beer at him, because,
I just told my brother to, avoid the guy redhead beer because he locks people in his basement. So don't go near him. You might be in Cincy, but he'll still get you somehow.
Have you heard from your brother to make sure he's not in Sam's basement?
Actually, I have not. I have not texted him.
Don't I have a portable basement that I just walk around with? You know what? You're in the basement.
You might throw him in the trunk and say, "Well, can't hit next game, so
shove him in the back of my brother-in-law's F-250.
Really tied him down.
By the way,
the bungee cord.
By the way, Nick, you're saying you guys were chugging beers and whiskeys and all that last night. I've been with you. It doesn't take much to get you rattled. So
True that.
I'm not taking that with very much.
I don't drink like that. I told you. I don't drink like that no more. I don't, man. I just don't. 20-year-old me could go rounds for people, but nowadays I don't drink like that anymore.
Right. I don't know if you guys remember.
Lightweight is the best life. Man.
Right. I don't know if you guys remember on the Buffoon Bodkins, I premiered my beer me deal or whatever it is, the little beer or the cocktail thing with the glasses and everything like that. Did a short and TikTok. Had my first rum breeze off of it.
Ooh, that sounds tasty.
Oh man, it was delicious. Of course, I put the strong setting on, right? Because that's the only way to go. But it was very tasty, very great. I got a tequila sunrise package as well here that I got to pop in at some point. So, but I'm starting to branch out of my old fashions and stuff. So now I'm really branching out on this machine. So excited to see what else comes up.
I'm excited to bring it. Let's go ahead and bring our own Hall of Famer in here. A guy who was at the Scott Fish Bowl doing his live draft. None other than Scott Cobe.
Scott's dying already.
Can't even talk anymore.
Scott, what's up, man?
Don't let Nick push you.
Right now, a toddler could push me around. Okay, it's not. There's nothing for you here. Eventually, it's like when a bear attacks. Right, just play dead. Eventually, they'll leave you alone.
What's going on, guys? How you doing?
Scott, how was the Fish Bowl yesterday? How was the draft?
It was really good. Last year, they put us in a room that only you could pack sardines in. It was so small that you had 48 people in a room. You couldn't even move. This year, they put us in the quote-unquote VIP rooms, so that was much, much better.
Nice.
More room, more getting up and being able to walk around and talk to other people and stuff. Draft was good.
Did you get your guy?
I got Mahomes in the first round, which at 1-1, which was really good.
What pick?
Scott Fishbowl.
I know. When did you get him? First round?
1-1. First pick.
First overall?
Yeah, because it's a super flex with two quarterbacks.
Oh.
And the scoring system is skewed toward quarterbacks and wide receivers.
I totally forgot it was the super flex. That's why.
Yeah. So in the second round, 3 picks before me, it was Austin Eckler, Bijan, and Diggs. And the second guy took Josh Allen, so I'm figuring he's going to take Diggs. I'm going to get Bijan. Third guy took Eckler. Second guy took Bijan. I ended up with Diggs. I would rather had Bijan in that situation, but it is what it is. He wasn't buying into the hookups and stuff like that, and Allen to Diggs stuff where you get extra points on it. So he wasn't buying into that. That's why he took Bijan. So, but it was a good draft. And we're through 19 rounds right now, so I got 3 rounds left. So.
And Sam, Scott, who we bet? You can at the parting gifts thoughts. Just give out your bets today. We'll just do that. We were kind of having a conversation off air before we went on, and Tanner said, "Save this for the show." So we'll just kind of open up the show with it because Sam said baseball is great live, and I said I feel like to me every sporting event's better live. I've been to like hockey, I've been to baseball, basketball, football, like. To me, it's better live. I will say to me, though, Tanner, and we've talked about this before, the draft I thought is better on TV just because you can hear more things and things like that.
But the issue with the live draft, I mean, I don't get me wrong, it was a cool experience. They had really cool things going around, but the lines are all super long to do in any events. And you can't even go through the middle part that had like the little like Hall of Fame stuff and everything else because that's super long too. And then you get into the draft area. Stage is cool. I mean, it was the biggest stage they've ever had in the NFL draft, which was awesome. We didn't know we could go down another level until that next day, and Nick was gone. So we found out, which was cool. Got a little closer, but you still couldn't see crap from the down level because the stage was so big. It still made them look like ants up there. So, the biggest complaint of the live draft for myself and Mike, was, and I think you too, Nick, that you were a part of. So, but there was no big board, there was no explanations of the picks, there was no highlights of the guy on, like they had TVs in the lawn and everything like that. Yeah, you would like screens, so you would expect like something, right? A big board list, something like that. They had all the analysts there, and there was nothing. It was just. Here you go. Find out your details with your minimal cell service that you can.
Yeah.
Hope it comes through, and good luck. Have fun with the band. The band was awesome. At the same time,
it needs to come back.
I wanted some more. I wanted some more. No info. Like I expected a football event, not a concert event.
Yeah. Plus, Nick, didn't you say you were 2 picks ahead of what they were ahead of on stage 2?
Yeah, I was getting
yeah. So that's another thing.
It's so slow.
They just tailor it toward TV, and TV's like, okay, you can go on now, basically.
Yeah,
so he goes on and gives a pick.
Yeah, and NBA's the same way. When we did our NBA draft here, the special for the first round,
that was
like they held up at 2 spots. It held up for 10 to 15 minutes, and it's like, what in the world is going on? Like, what are we doing? So, I think obviously TV has affected this draft experience way more than honestly it probably should.
Yeah.
Sam, you said that you went to a golf outing. That was about the only one you didn't like.
Yeah, it was standing. It was hot. You're kind of walking around. You can't make a lot of noise, you know. And
what did you think you were going to in a golf outing, Sam? You're just going to be able to wear your boas and scream "Go Titans" at the golf outing?
Nothing around. nothing like that. I'm just not wild about like authorities saying, "Hey, everybody be quiet, no cell phones or anything."
Oh, I know. I hate that.
It's just kind of like, oh my gosh, And I'm trying to see over people's shoulders the whole time. I don't have a seat, and you have to walk to the next hole. It was not as pleasurable. I saw some good hits, but like, gosh, this was intense. I can't even remember who was playing. But walking from hole to hole was just not for me, man. Not for me. Give me a seat, give me a dog and a beer. Move on. Oh no.
Yeah. Plus, it seems like there's a lot.
Yeah. The in-laws are circling me right now. I'm a little afraid.
Yeah, and it seems like there's a lot of downtime if you go to a live golf event because the guys are walking after they hit a shot and they're waiting for the next guy to hit a shot. And it just seems like it gets a whole lot boring unless you're on the 17th or 18th hole when all the guys are starting to come up. Other than that, it's boring as anything. So
they had a nice like giant feast for everybody and like near the clubhouse and everything like that. That was cool. But like then it was like, all right, let's do this, and I'm like, like walking down to the hole or whatnot. And I was like, we're just gonna stand here until people are done and walk to the next hole. Okay, like that was it.
See,
so give me a dog and a beer.
My one I could care less about was NASCAR week here in KC. I don't know, like 5 years ago, and we went to the Friday night truck race. Essentially, is what it was. But I mean, we were there. It was a cool experience to start, but like between the 20 lap and the 40th lap, it was like a wreck every, like not even a lap, like almost lap and a half of just wrecks. And it was like 10 o'clock at night, and we weren't even halfway done. And I looked at my brother and I go, "Yeah, I got to work in the morning, dude." Because I was still working at, I think, Target or something like that. So I was like, I got to work in the morning. We got to go. And he looked at me, he goes, "I'm right behind you. Let's roll." Like,
I think NASCAR
was boring.
Racing is good if you're like in the pit area. You know what I mean? Like if you're in the pit, you know what I mean? Like if you're in that area. Other than that, like I'm not a big on like, let's go to the race, sit there and watch cars go, take 5,000
circle,
like in a circle, like I in the heat or, I'd rather not. But if I was in the pit is real fun, like that's a little different. Cause then you're kind of get to move around. You're doing a little bit more stuff. I mean, you're going to get boozed up at the NASCAR races for sure. Like, and I think NASCAR lets you bring in your own cooler.
Correct. You can bring your own coolers and everything like that. So
so I mean, they're one of that's like the only sporting event like they encourage you to drink. So you know what I mean. Like I feel like you got to be drunk if you're going to sit there all day watching cars go. So
it'd be the only enjoyable thing at that point.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Scott, you ever went to a sporting event where you're like, man, this isn't what I wanted?
Yeah, we have a golf event every other year here in Norton, Massachusetts. It's the big Labor Day weekend golf tournament, and it's not even fun. It's like you watch a shot and then it's like 10 minutes later you see another shot. It's so boring. Give me a baseball event. Give me a basketball, hockey. Give me the 4 major sports. I mean,
right.
They used to have tennis here, and I was thinking of going to that, and then I'd watch it on TV. It's like, okay, you hit one shot, you watch the guys hit it back and forth for 5 minutes, and then it's in it. So,
unless you're going to me like tennis or golf, like unless you're like tennis, like if you're going to like the U.S. Open, Wimbledon, like those special events, sign me up. Like that's like, you know what I mean? Like not very many people like golf, like sign me up. I'll go to the Masters. I don't think they let my kind into the Masters. Just I'm a little rowdy, so, but
hey, look, if they let me into a golf event, they should let Nick into it.
Well, you didn't go to the Masters though, Sam. That's what I'm saying. The Masters got special rules. Like you can't even take your cell phone in. I don't think at all. Like they make you lock it up and everything else like that. They're like very strict on things. Yeah. I would go the one golf event I would like to go to is the one in Lake Tahoe that's going on with all the celebrities. Like you watch that on TV and following Pat on Twitter and stuff. Like there's guys like chugging beers and like that. I think is a little bit more partyish. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So one of the radio guys here who does great work, Steven St. John, one of my favorite. Like that's the guy I listen to if I have to listen to sports radio. He's the guy. He got to interview. I follow him on Facebook, so he got to interview Canelo, Roger Clemens, Brian Urlacher. Like the list goes on and on. And this is a guy that he talks about Canelo all the time. So seeing a guy who's been in the industry so long finally get to interview the guy he basically looks up to at this point, even though he's older, like he loves Canelo and he's a former boxer too. That's why he loves Canelo so much. But like being able to hear him and talk with him, just that passion and emotion, like it's just inspiring for any of us.
Yeah. I enjoy that.
Go to an event at the Masters. You just said it, Nick. The par 3 contest on the day before the tournament starts. That seems like that's a whole heck of a lot of fun.
So my buddy, that's in Georgia, right?
Yeah,
it's in Georgia.
So my buddy, we go drinking with here at Limitless. He had to go to that, and he went to the day before, right, for the par 3 contest and everything like that. He said it was awesome. So you can buy merchandise. And then you can ship it out to your place in the same spot. So you don't have to carry it around with you. You just pay a little bit, box it up, and send it to your house. So you don't have to carry it around or anything. So you got that going on. And then he also said after, they do their practice and everything, you're able to stick around and you're able to actually walk on the course without any supervision. So you can actually walk on the course like each hole or whatever you want to do and check it out. Like I thought that was kind of cool too, because a lot of places you would think like you want to keep your integrity. Like baseball doesn't let you walk on the freaking field or don't even let you sniff the dirt.
Yeah.
At that point, right? Football is kind of the same way, just because it is so, they want to keep it so precious. You would think golf would be the same way, especially the Masters. No, they're like, hey, come on out, check it out after everybody's done. You can, take pictures, do whatever you want. Like I heard, so the day of, it's a lot more strict, like Sam was talking about. But the day before, the 2 days before, a lot more lenient and also a lot more enjoyable. I guess you could say that. So, which is maybe the way to do it.
Well, I like going to fights live because I went to the UFC in Kansas City back in April, and man, like it was fun. I've been to boxing events live, like because you could hear it. You know what I mean, like and everything like that. So like. I enjoy those events. Let me ask you guys, Scott. This is let's shift topics here for a second. Quinn Williams gets the bag, Scott. I mean, this is your division. You got a lot of money. The Jets get the deal done. What's your thoughts on Quinn Williams? And this is the first time a Jets player who's been drafted in the first round gets his second contract. Last person to do that was Mo Wilkerson. So from Muhammad Wilkerson. Yeah. From 2012 to 2018, a Jets first round pick hasn't got a second contract. And then you wonder why they stink.
I think the Jets value Williams a whole heck of a lot, which they should. He's basically their line on defense. If you notice, the NFL is now starting to go toward paying defensive tackles and defensive rushers, edge rushers, like they are. So this is no surprise that he got the bag, so to speak. I just think he makes the Jets defense a whole heck of a lot better. When he's out, they can't get to the quarterback. They're very, very average. When he's on the field with that secondary now, they're going to be a defense that you're not even going to want to play, come late in the season and into the playoffs. So they should have paid him. They paid him. So now he's there for the long term, so to speak. And I think the Jets defense is going to be absolutely a monster this year. Nobody's going to want to play them. Buffalo's going to be significant problems opening night against them. So
I watched him against the Packers when they came to Green Bay, and he destroyed us. I mean, he was just a force to be reckoned with. Tanner, I thought that was his last year was his big year. Kind of came out. Sometimes it takes especially D tackles and some time to develop. And man, he looked like a monster last year. And they can build that defense around him and Sauce Gardner.
Right. They can finally put the pieces together. Now, what does this mean for the state of the franchise? Right. That was our first signing since 2012. What does this mean now for the future players that are with the Jets? Your Garrett Wilsons, your Breece Halls, your Sauce Gardner. This means there's an opportunity for those guys to stay a Jet. And that's the most important thing. Jamal Adams, we all thought would have been the guy to be able to resign. Gone, right? Traded. And that was other reasons too. What's the other safety that ended up going to the Saints and now is out of the league essentially? Gone, right? So now this is the biggest thing for a winning franchise, a winning team to start putting together. Keep your guys, keep your talent that's drafted. Look at the Chiefs here, right? They retained talent essentially, for 2-3 years, and then they would reset, but they would also keep their core: Chris Jones, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and now that offensive line, that core of Trey Smith, Creed Humphrey, Joe Thuney. I think all will be retained as we go. So it's huge. Like for a Chiefs team that kept a bunch of crappy players in the 2000s, like leading up to Andy Reid, having talent like a Quentin Williams there. Quentin Williams it's massive start and a massive start to this Jets franchise in the state of it. So it's massive.
Yeah, I mean
and what I'd say, I'll ask Nick, Tanner, and then Sam. Does this make Salah's seat even more hotter? They have to make the playoffs now.
No, I think it's still very cool. I think he's sitting just fine because now you're buying into Salah because Salah's the one who's motivating these guys of playing well. You had a great opportunity last year. You were missing a freaking quarterback essentially from going to the playoffs and taking over the Bills part here and the Dolphins. Right, you were in the mix. So Salah, there's no reason why his seat should be hot. It shouldn't even be warm. It should be nice to chill on a summer day, sitting on the butt. So
if they don't make the playoffs, though, it's going to get real hot. They've went all in.
Yeah, it'll get real hot. I think you're getting
it'll turn on.
Warm, right?
I think it's hot. You guys, they went all in. They made the trade for Aaron. You just said they were a quarterback away.
After year, other places, right? The Bills should be hot. What's his face?
Nah.
Yeah, he should be hot. You go in it, you go get digs. You have a great defense. You have the best defense in the league, and you lose to the Chiefs in 13 seconds. What are we doing? You can't. It's the same expectations. If you want a winning franchise expectation, you got to be hot. Your seat's got to be hot somewhere. That's the thing.
Sam, you kind of said the Titans are going through a similar thing where their GM, they're now fired GM. Did it? None of those guys are getting re-signed.
No, none of Jeffrey Simmons is the only one that got re-signed from whoever he drafted. So that should show you a lot about how things are going. I mean, even the draft where they had 2 picks, Corey Davis and Adoree Jackson both left as soon as their contracts were up. It's a nasty time. Now we get to sit here and see what Rand Carthon's going to do. So now everybody is all about DeAndre Hopkins and blah blah blah. But like you said, and rightfully so, that the Chiefs are coming knocking, and that changed the money line on the whole thing. The championship is there if he wants it. So there you go.
We're here.
And
I can't wait to watch you drink mayo and coffee, Sam. I mean,
if the Titans make the playoffs, I will drink mayo and coffee. because I don't.
No, and if D-Hop gets 1,000 yards receiving, you're drinking mayo and coffee. I can't.
Oh, is it the double punishment? Oh man, what if they both happen?
See you week 6.
Yeah.
I mean, is this Derrick Henry's last year in Tennessee? Do we all think Derrick?
Yeah, this is him and Tannehill's swan song.
Yeah.
So this is it right here. I think you've got Vrabel and Carthon kind of in lockstep as far as like the future of this team. They didn't renegotiate their contract. This is their swan song.
Yeah, I mean Derrick Henry. They are. I think Bert. Maybe one of the players I was listening to a podcast. Maybe was there. What's their safety, Sam? What's his name?
Kevin Byard.
Yeah, they asked him to take a pay cut. And he said no thanks. And
not happening.
Yeah, I mean, right? I wouldn't either. And he didn't get cut, so they value him pretty well. So I think they didn't really rework Derrick Henry's deal either. But a guy whose deal did get reworked is Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon takes the pay cut. Smart on Joe because he knew he was going to get cut if he didn't, and he's looking around the running back. Right, there's still Kareem Hunt's free agent. Zeke's a free agent. Dalvin Cook's still a free agent. Like he's looking around saying, "Man, this money right here that if I restructure, that might be the best deal I get because the running back market is all dried up. Yeah. Nobody's giving out money to running backs. So I'm going to take the money because this might be the best money I get because if I get cut, I'm probably going to have to play for league minimum someplace else, and it may not be on a good team. I'll get what I can get. It's incentive based, and I still get to play with Joey Burrow and still get a chance to win the Super Bowl. Tanner, what's your thoughts on Joe Mixon sticking around in Cincy?
Smartest
good transition, by the way, Nick. That was a beautiful transition.
Hey, I'm pretty good at this hosting today.
I like that. Yeah.
Smartest move that Joey Mixon can make, right? And it hurts Hunt, it hurts Elliott on their free agency mark because Bengals were a target at some point, depending on what happened with Joe there. So, staying with a contender, chance to go win something like that's the move you have to make where you're at in your career right now. And you had a pretty decent season last year, coming off a great season. So, be able to retain that, stay in the offensive structure that you're familiar with, stay within a quarterback that you're really familiar with, right? And just stay with a winning team and yet help the team out too with that restructure. So I think it's a great move. I think that's such a smart move, especially since, like you said, the free agency has not been friendly to these big name running backs at the moment.
Yeah. Scott, I mean, Eckler even said he doesn't like the market of running backs, but Eckler, you got to understand, like that's the way of the world right now.
Yeah, there's another guy, Saquon Barkley. If he doesn't agree to a deal, he's talking about sitting out week 1. So, because he doesn't want to play in the franchise. So these guys don't want to play on the franchise. They want to be locked up long term, and I don't blame them at all because out of all the positions in the NFL, offensive positions, running back is the one that has a short shelf life for everybody. So if Mixon doesn't rework his deal, I think Cincinnati just says, see you later. We'll just go with the young guy.
And he's going to be sitting out. Yeah, you're going to go with Evans, your rookie backup, right?
Right.
And that'd be your guy. Like, they're not going to spend – they got too much money in the wide receivers right now to be able – in the offensive line, to be able to go out and justify paying a running back $10+ million.
Yeah, and the other thing is you sign Burrow to a long deal. Higgins is going to be coming up in the next year or two.
This year, I think. Higgins is this year, I think.
Higgins is this year. Pay them double-figure money to keep them in Cincinnati. And Cincinnati's never done that before with their skill position. So, that's why you see a Irv Smith come to Cincinnati. Cheap deal, cheap money, good tight end. But again, he's cheap money. They sign him cheap money. And that's what Cincinnati's going to go into now is signing these guys cheap. Because Burrow, Chase, and Higgins are going to take up more than half the salary cap, I would say. So that's the whole thing is they gotta find a way to work their team around Chase, Higgins, and Burrow. And Mixon's rework deal is a part of that. So
I agree. Keep Boyd too. Figure out how to keep Boyd. Have those three.
Yeah.
Have that core of Burrow, Chase, Higgins, and Boyd. Like you're going to be set. you're going to be set for that offense for a long time, no matter what happens elsewhere.
Right. And all the problems
Yes.
Mixon had in the offseason, he needed to rework his deal.
Yeah. I mean, it was a have to situation for him.
Yep.
Yes.
Sam, what's your thoughts on Mixon reworking his deal?
Smart move by him, and to all these guys, all the running backs wanting cash or whatnot. I mean, I hear you, but at the same time, like, this is the era of football you're playing in. Like, it stinks. I get it, but like, that's not where the money's going. And it's not like you can't make decent scratch or anything like that, but it's just where we are. It's just where we are.
Derrick Henry's the exception, I feel like, because he is solely the Titans' offense.
Yes.
You agree with that?
Yes, $16 million a year, I think. $16 million this year. But yeah, I mean, if it works out, people keep saying, especially Titans fans, that there's no decline or whatever else, and I'm telling you, there's a decline. There were runs last year where that's a touchdown and he didn't get it, and there are things. It's just the natural. Nobody has won against Father Time. You know what I mean? Like, it's just natural.
Let's be real, Sam. Like, when your quarterback isn't throwing or isn't completing, even 50%, 40% of his passes, your running game's going to get useless in the end, right?
Yeah. They're just
you can put eight in the box, 9 in the box at that point in time.
Yeah.
Because Willis,
Willis
isn't throwing the ball.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, exactly. But it's just all part of it, of course,
Joseph?
And it'll stink to see him go. Hi, Joseph. But this is his last year, and hopefully he'll make it a good one, and we'll see where he goes from here. It'd be interesting. That'd be an interesting off-season topic, right? Where's Derrick Henry signed for a second contract?
I mean, that'll be a fun one, because he's going to get wind up somewhere no matter what happens this year.
No matter what, yeah.
I mean, here's my question: what running backs in the NFL now are worth 12 to 15 million?
CMC.
I'd say
CMC.
I'd still would throw Saquon in this one still.
Yeah, and Saquon, to your point, Scott, Saquon said, like, the deal, he's not even trying to reset the market or try to bake you don't have
Bake
to
the
bet
bread.
the Brinks truck up. You know what I mean? Just half of it, maybe. Like, he's like, I'm not trying to reset the market. I'm not trying to. I just want a long-term deal, and give him some. I think just give him some guaranteed money and get a 3-year deal done. Like, why not a 3-year deal?
4 year. I mean, just think of that. Having a set running back for 4 years in your system, still very young, still very agile, and all you got to do is throw in 30 mil, guaranteed or something like that. 40 mil.
Yeah.
I would pay $8 million. I'd pay $8 million per calf muscle. Those guys' calves are ridiculous.
Yeah, right. If
the Giants throw 4 years, $55 million with $35 million guaranteed, I think he signs the deal tomorrow. I think
easily
he signs it.
That's
the Giants aren't willing to do that. Why? I mean, I don't understand why the Giants aren't willing to do this.
That's because they paid Daniel.
They paid Danny Dimes. That's
Danny Dimes and Darren Waller. They just brought over. Yeah, I can see that. But
they don't have anything else going. They got to pay the defense. They paid Dexter Lawrence on the D line, who had a great year. But I agree with you. I don't understand. Like, I get running backs are so particular. He had a couple freak injury years. It happens, right? But this guy, he was healthy last year. Looked tremendous for this offense. Like, this is should be considered a core piece at this point with this team.
Oh,
yeah, agreed.
We lost Sam. Oh, there he's coming back.
He's back.
He's back.
He'll come back. So, but yeah, I mean, Saquon, I'd still feel falls in that realm of guys you would pay that. Dalvin, I still believe that too. I think there's plenty left in him because he had so many, the injury problems every year. He never played a full season except for last year. And this is a guy who every year he's on the field, he's very effective. Very effective. I think you throw him in the mix.
Here's a guy that I think is gonna command high dollars, and it's a guy up here in Foxborough, Ramondre Stevenson. If he keeps on the accelerator he's He's looking at 12 to 13 million a year.
Bill's not going to pay him that, though, right? I don't think.
Bill will not.
I mean, if he's around, right? Like if Bill's around, because I mean, like we talked about the other days, maybe Bill won't be around.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think Bill's going to be around. He's got 3 more years left on this rookie deal. I don't think Bill's going to be there for the 3rd year. I think he might be done after 2. So,
you guys were saying off the show before we switch topics to the NBA real quick. Trey Lance trade rumors?
Yeah. So I can't remember I can't find where this is but on the allfalcons.com. First source, Atlanta Falcons have offered a conditional 2nd-round pick to the San Francisco 49ers for QB Trey Lance. So there's that. 49ers expected to continue to field offers. If you look at the odds makers right now, Sports on for this, where Trey Lance adds, Titans plus 300, Vikings plus 400, Falcons plus 500, Texans 700 still, Ravens 1,000, and Colts 1,200. So, I
don't think the Texans and the Falcons they got to be out because they got
to be out right now. But it's weird that they're still in the mix, and maybe it's just because the question, still being questionable there.
Yeah,
I think the Ravens are out too because of Lamar. But maybe they're looking for a backup. Maybe they're looking for somebody there. So, and why not take a cheap guy like Trey Lance at this point? So,
I like it for the Falcons. I don't know. Are they quitting on Ritter already, or just maybe, hey, we're going to let this 2 young quarterbacks battle it out?
Well, you get 3. Right?
Yeah, that's the thing is if Atlanta is inquiring about Trey Lance, that speaks volumes on what they think about Desmond Ritter and his future. They don't think he has much of a future at all.
Isn't what's his face? Heineke?
Taylor Heineke, yeah, he's the backup too.
Yeah. I mean,
I actually like Heineke a whole lot.
I mean, he could fit in Tennessee after this year with Tannehill, probably gone after this year if they don't think Will Levis is gonna work out.
I mean, they just took Will Levis in the 2nd round, so I don't see that either. Atlanta does make sense. Like, you don't really know about Ritter yet, and we really don't know about Trey Lance. Like, that's the thing is like we don't know anything about him. Right. Like, we've seen minimal stuff. Other people tell you he's the best thing since God walked on water, and then other people will tell you that he's not so good either. But it's just like Jordan Love. Like, when people ask me about Jordan Love, I don't know. I don't know if the kid can ball out or not. As a Packers fan, like, we hope that he can ball out. Like, I hope that he can ball out. Do I know? No, I don't know because we haven't seen the kid play a full season. Ask me 365 days, and I'll have a better assumption. Really, probably, I won't even say halfway through the season I'll have a better, because guys can turn it on the second half because it's going to take time for a guy who sat out for, he's been behind sitting on the bench for 3 years. Trey Lance has played in 5 games in 4 years. So you guys forget, like, he sat out that COVID year. So we don't even know. We don't know.
We don't know what he is.
We don't know what he is. And the last time he played real, meaningful, lengthy football was 2019, which seems like a long time ago now.
I think if I'm the
Niners, and you don't want to be presumptive either,
Yeah, if I'm the Niners, we're waiting till the end of the year in the offseason. Like, I'm going to keep Trey Lance around just because of the QB issues I had last year, and maybe he works out. But if I'm the Niners, I'm waiting till next year. Because that trade capital will go up. Kirk Cousins isn't extended past this year. No, Vikings is going to be looking at destination if they don't get a good draft pick, which they won't because they're too talented on that team. Who knows with Anthony Richardson how that works out? Like, there's going to be plenty of opportunity in this for Trey Lance to be able to find a home, and the Niners get some capital back.
Yeah, and for them to come out with the thing that if Sam Darnold might stop week 1, that speaks volumes about what the Niners think about Trey Lance right now and his progression in his professional career, which they don't think is great at all. And last year when he got hurt, they were 3-4 when he got hurt last year. So I think San Francisco is, 3rd pick in the draft. I think they're trying to move on from him. But I agree with you. It's not this year.
Not this year.
I worked out. Lance probably is the second guy in backup person.
And at worst, he's cheaper to cut next year, right? So at worst, Minnesota doesn't know how to use Dalvin Cook. Well, yeah, we know that.
Well, obviously they don't know how to use him because he ain't on the team no more, David. I mean, that's
But I think Minnesota would be a great landing spot for Trey Lance after this year because Kirk Cousins is not going to get re-signed.
You got weapons in the Niners world too.
A veteran. I think they'll go more veteran-ish because of they seemed like almost a win now type team with Double J there and a couple other people. So
they need a defense. The defense is Swiss cheese, basically.
Yeah, they're going to have to rebuild it up, that defense up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's rough, but it's the highlight of the league right now. Trey Lance, it's destination. Does he stay? Does he not? Training camp starts Monday.
I think when he trades, that'll tell us a lot about Brock Purdy's health wise, right? Like,
correct.
They're not going to trade him if they think Brock is going to not be ready for week 1. And I think if he's ready by week 1, then they'll probably be like, okay, we can trade him. But if he's not ready, do we want to go with Sam Darnold because we've seen him in situations where 2 spots now has not. He looked decent at Carolina at times. Got banged up last year, but I don't think Sam Darnold's the answer either. If I'm a 49ers fan, so you just hope that I think Brock Purdy's healthy. So if he's 100% healthy, I think then Trey that kind of makes Trey expendable. But there'll be a decent core there with Atlanta because you got a bunch of young guys that can grow together, right? You got Drake London, Bijan, Kyle Pitts. Like that would be a nice little young offensive core that could grow together. I feel like.
But I think with San Francisco, they've insulated the quarterback with so much talent around him that it could be Brock Purdy, it could even be Sam Darnold for a couple of games, it could be Trey Lance, and they're still going to be successful. So. They've just insulated, and Kittle too, and don't forget about Kittle. So they've insulated him with so much talent that the quarterback position, I'm joking when I say this, is basically meaningless in San Francisco because of all the talent around him. So,
yeah, that could be true. That's an interesting point. You guys, I will not hear any slander against my fellow Ginger and fellow namesake Sam Darnold. Keep your mouth shut. Keep his name out of your mouth. Right? What did Colin Cowherd call him? He's like, Sam Darnold, thick, chunky, coastal kid. And I was like, what? What did you just say? Does anybody else remember that? Or
I don't know. Dude.
He was in love with Sam, like to the extent where I thought he was going to marry him. Like it was pretty. It's like listening to Chris Collinsworth like go on and on about Ben Roethlisberger. It was like, well, just marry the dude if you love him so much.
That's awesome.
Look at Sam now.
The comment that just went up: Lamar Jackson will never win a Super Bowl in the NFL.
No, he won't.
Ooh,
not going to. Yeah, he's not going to.
Why is that, Scott?
Get the hammer out, Nick. Get the hammer out.
Through all his progressions when he's back in the pocket, number 1, and number 2, when he feels a tiny bit of pressure.
What's up, Ted?
I think he just automatically just takes off, and I think when he takes off, he takes too many hits, and he gets injured too often.
You think that'll change with
the money?
With the money and with Odell there with a little bit better receiving core.
I think that Odell is past his prime. He's not done, but he's on the backside.
Yeah,
he's not
Zay
number
Flowers
one.
is going to take a year or two. Yeah, Zay Flowers is going to take a year or two to get into the offense.
And they got Rashad Perriman. Right? Not Rashad Perriman. What's his name?
Rashad Bateman.
Yeah, that's it.
Lamar likes a lot. And you got Mark Andrews. So I think what teams are going to do to them this year is just shell coverage Mark Andrews and say, okay, throw
Andrews
Odell.
Is so questionable anyways.
Yeah.
Like he has the spurts where he goes on this run for 3 or 4 games, and then he's where are you? Where'd you go?
Right. Exactly.
Games,
He for him to win the MVP, he's a good quarterback, but he just doesn't go through the whole progressions like he should. And that's where the problem is with me is that Lamar just wants to run the ball. He wants to run for 1,200 yards, and he doesn't care. He's just going to take all these hits, and that's it. So
you remember in 2019 where I didn't have a great defense, but they freaking all Vrabel did was clog the middle and double covered the tight end, and he had absolute trouble, and that was his MVP season and everything. And we fully expected to get our asses kicked when we went up to Baltimore, and we
David,
didn't. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, no, you're good, Sam. I was just going to say, David, you know, speed, people lose speed all the time. Father Time comes for everybody. So eventually he's going to lose those, lose that speed. You know, ask Mike Vick. I know, Mike Vick is very comparable to Lamar. Now, Vick obviously didn't play for a year and a half because he went to prison, but he wasn't the same after that because you lose that speed as you get older. That's life, So that'll happen to Lamar eventually. I want to switch topics for one last topic before we get up out of here. Scott, do you know Paul Pierce's weed man there in Boston? Because this guy's got to be high because he's out here saying if Dame goes to Miami, it'll make them worse. They won't even get out of the first round. Paul, I love you, man, but what the hell are you smoking? Because how does a team go from the NBA Finals to add in Dame Lillard, who averages 30-plus a game, get worse?
Look who they lost.
So I'm walking to my fishbowl draft, and I grew up in the Fenway Park area, in the Boston area. And I'm walking to the fishbowl, and there's a new weed store they just built on Lansdowne Street right outside the ballpark. I think that's where Paul Pierce goes because it depends what they have to give up, okay? That's number one. Maybe Pierce knows what they got to give up to get Lillard. And maybe it's Bam and a couple other.
No, it's not. They're not traded. From what I've read right now. It's Tyler Hero, 3 first-round picks, but the Blazers want a 4th pick. But you can't give up 4. I don't think the Heat can give up 4 first. You can't give up 4 first-rounders. I think that's the NBA rule.
Yeah. They got to bring in another team.
Yeah, so they're trying to get add another team in there to get the 4th pick, so it would be Tyler Hero and 4 first-round picks.
They had a whole segment on NBA radio when I was driving to the draft yesterday about how it would be stupid for the Celtics to go after him. A whole segment on NBA radio on Sirius, how the Celtics should not go after a 33-year-old Dame Lillard. Why? You're one piece away from the championship. I can understand if they have to give up their future, don't do it. But I don't agree with Paul Pierce at all. I think if Miami can get this deal done, you get it done for a guy like Dame Lillard, who you need to get over the top.
And Dame to me's got that mind, the Heat mind culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, he does. I'm not saying anything against it, but look what we saw last year with no depth in Phoenix. Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, they put up 60.
Yeah, that's
points.
true.
But that's different.
No, it's not. It's the same thing. You lost like 2 or 3 guys. If you lose Hero, that's 4 guys off the bench.
I get what you're saying, but they're not gutting the whole team to get Dame Lillard. They're giving up the future.
No, that's the issue.
For Dame. You can go. Those guys, Caleb Martin and I think Martin stayed, didn't he? Strauss is gone.
Martin, I thought was with the Lakers, wasn't he?
Is Gabe Vincent the one that went to the Lakers?
Vincent, that's who I was
Gabe
thinking.
Vincent, yeah.
Vincent's
So like those guys were undrafted free agents. They'll go out and get some other undrafted free agents. Like nobody knew who those guys were until they came to the Heat and balled out in the playoffs. So they'll find those guys.
Here's the thing: you've got to give up to get Lillard. You got to give up your future to win an NBA title this year. If you do not win an NBA title this year or next year, then the trade doesn't do you any good because 3 years down the line, who knows where Lillard or what Lillard is going to be? Who knows what these guys are going to be? So you're sacrificing your future to win a title this year. If you're comfortable with that, fine. But if you are going to mortgage and go back to near the bottom when you've been up at the top, I'm not so sure I want to do that, really. So, and to be honest with you, they went through the segment yesterday. Celtics don't, if they sign Jaylen Brown, which I think they're going to, but I'm not sure, then they have they can't go after Dame Lillard. They just have no money to go after him. It would have been Miami or bust, basically. So,
yeah. Let me ask you this: Would you trade Brown for Lillard, Scott?
No, I would not. I keep Jaylen Brown.
So you like the combination of Brown Lillard or Brown Tatum and Porzingis?
Yeah, I do. Jaylen Brown is 7 years younger than Dame Lillard.
Yeah,
I think he's got more basketball in him than Dame Lillard does, to be honest with you. So
I agree. I agree.
Yeah. To me, what does he say? David says Butler needs help. Yeah, he does. He's needed help the last 3 years.
Yeah.
The only team that should get future done, everyone else say less. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? Is Dame already put it out there that he wants to be and he's not going to be happy. He's already talked to teams that's been interested, and it doesn't matter if it's Celtics or not. So if I'm any other team, I mean, if I'm going to get Dame, I'm also not going to get ripped off with 4 draft picks. So, I gotta be able to be plan it ahead in case that happens.
Well, they're tearing that thing down, so they just acquire as many draft picks and do kind of what OKC did, right? Like, and you just hope that those draft picks hit. That's the show, right? Scott, let's go ahead. We'll get out our parting shots and we'll get up out of here and have a good Sunday, folks.
Okay, I got three bets today that I'm about ready to place after the show. I got the Yankees on the money line. Garrett Cole is pitching today. That's probably a win against Colorado. I got Oakland plus 1.5 on the run line today. They're playing Minnesota. Minnesota's pitching is great. The reason why they're hitting right now is because Oakland's pitching staff is so not so good. And I got the Dodgers on the money line today against the Mets. The Mets are right in free fall right now. The game was 1-1 late in the game, and they gave up 5 runs to the Dodgers last night. So those 3 I'm definitely betting. I'm looking at the Cubs because Justin Steele is on the mound today against the Red Sox.
Hey, yeah, Scott, we're 1-1. Today's the rubber match, baby. You guys took game 1. We took game 2. We'll see,
And Cody Bellinger, where's Cody Bellinger been all year? All of a sudden, he's hitting home runs now for the Cubs.
He's been hit. Well, he got hurt. He was hot when he first came in. He got hurt, and now he's back to being hot. Kudos to our guy, Jonathan Grisham on Monday. He told us, Tanner, that, hey, Cody's going to be okay for you, Nick. Now that the shift is over, expect him to kind of get back to what he was. So he called that. I hope Jed Hoyer doesn't trade him. Because I absolutely will hate Jed Hoyer because it looks like he could be traded. Stroman could be traded, but I feel like Cody needs to be extended. He's a good ball player. We don't have very many of them in Chicago.
No, like you got to keep that guy.
Yeah, for no doubt. Tanner, what's your final thoughts here?
I got the Mets no run for no first innings, no runs first innings. So I got that today. That's my one big bet today. But outside of that, they put out a list here, and I can't find it now, of the top interior guards from the execs. And essentially Quentin Nelson's first, but there was 2 Chiefs on there, Creed Humphrey and Joe Tooney. And then I'm pretty sure, I'm sure if we extended the 15, Trey Smith would be right there around that 13-15 mark. So kind of cool to see a couple Chiefs out there, offensive line that, hasn't really got a lot of love the last couple of years. So those draft picks in 2020 have really stepped up in that signing with Joe Tooney too. So, but yeah, that's all I really got. Kind of enjoying getting another round of weather coming our way. So we're excited for that and getting ready for it. So,
hey, can I plug one thing before you go to Sam?
Of course, Scott.
Scott! Wow.
It's the Larison family reunion on Off the Rails tonight, so watch that show.
Yeah, 4:00 Central Time Zone, 5 Eastern. Off the Rails. I was gonna plug the show, Scott.
Okay.
I got it. Okay. Let the host, Scott. Jeez,
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Scott.
Yeah, we're playing at Wrigley. We're at Wrigley, Dave. Sweetheart Sam. That should be your new nickname, Sweetheart Sam.
Yeah, I'm a sweetheart. He's such a sweetheart. Fellas, I'm doing stuff with family. And I think that is important. It could be going to a baseball game. It could be, doing something that you probably dread, but then you end up doing it and you have a good time. Doing stuff with family is important. The events and everything. I think we should all do that. Call your moms too. Call your dads and moms.
Hey, Sam, I mean, I feel, your in-laws got to love you if they're dragging you to a baseball game and paying for all the beers out of those poor souls. I feel you should be buying them drinks, letting them marry be around in their families.
I'm sure I'll have to, pay up a little bit today, but it ain't going to be the high price stuff. I'm like, here, have some of this, Coors or whatever. It's just water,
Here's the drinking fountain.
Yeah.
Game's at 12.
Hey, David,
against the Brewers.
Go ahead, Sam. Yeah.
You
guys went to another game today? You got into another game?
Yeah. We're going to another one. Yeah.
Oh, nice. All right. Well, maybe Ella Dela Cruz will be pitching today, Sam.
Sorry about that. Sorry. I'm on a sports show. I should know better. I'll drink some mayo in my coffee as soon as we get off there.
Hey, my parting shot is, be nice, be kind. Don't try to bully people. Be authentic with yourself. Know yourself, and that's pretty much it. Again, Off the Rails, Scott. Check us out. Me, Scott, Tanner, and the Larison family reunion. My brothers, Matt and Rob, and Papa Larison joining us today.
Papa debut.
Papa Larison's debut. I can't wait for that. I'm excited. I'm adopted into the family, the Larison family. So can't wait. We'll be talking all the football stuff. We'll probably just talk about where D-Hop and Dalvin Cook's going to go. So excited for that, because that's what we do every Sunday. So I'm excited. Plus, I'll be back tonight, 8:00 Central, talking a little UFC. So David, I didn't answer your question. The Cubs we're third right now. We're about 7 back. So that's where we're at. Cardinals will be sellers. We'll talk all that stuff and a bit more baseball tomorrow night. Again, on the LTS show, 8:00 Central, PM this time, and 9 Eastern with Jim and John. We'll talk a little hockey, John with Jim, and a little baseball with Jonathan. We'll talk about Cardinals selling, baby. Cardinals are sellers. Yeah. So I can't wait. So check us out. Be a friend, tell a friend. Like, subscribe, share. Tanner, hit that outro. Folks, have a great Sunday. We'll catch you later.
We'll see you guys.